But football without fans is not. You play a football match without fans, you're getting it. It can be the greatest game in the world. If there are no people there to watch, it becomes nothing.
Into Johnson. Johnson. Larson. Oh, he's in! Henrik Larsson! That is sensational! Nakamura! He has done it! Isn't that just typical?
The game is over. The Rebels have won.
A star is born at Celtic!
Champions. That's who we are.
Boom, boom, boom. Easy as you like. Back to the jungle gyms. Me, Paddy, McGinty, Dale O'Reilly for the Celtic Supporters Podcast, and introducing for the very first time ever on the jungle gyms, Mr. Keiser. How we doing, pal?
Yo, rocking it, bro. Loving it. Loving
My
life.
sunglasses are real. Yours aren't they? But I tell you
Mine's
what, mate. Cool as you like, on a day that Celtic had to win to go back top of the league. They've done it in style. 9 of the best. Here we go. McGinty, tell us what you think, pal.
What do we think? That's exactly what Celtic fans deserve to be seen every fucking week.
Yes.
None of this fucking shitey fucking possession-based football for the sake of possession. Attacking football, fluid football, 9 of the best goals you're going to see all fucking season, and the way that we should be seeing football at Celtic Park. Well, I'll say it Tannadice, but at Celtic Park as well.
Yeah, old boy, you're a man of a certain vintage. Is that the best performance you've ever seen for Celtic? Up there.
Listen,
Away
mate,
from home, anyway.
that's a big shout, mate, and I certainly think it's the best performance I've seen under Ange, definitely, and that's including the first half against the Rotten Mob last year. I've not seen many better performances in my fucking 40 years on earth, mate. For Celtic, and I know we've had massive European nights, and folk can talk about the standards going down and we're playing against lesser teams and this and that. That was an absolute fucking joy to watch for the first minute to the last minute, mate. It was fucking phenomenal, mate. Intensity, desire, goals, just it had absolutely fucking everything you want as a Celtic fan. That game today had it until the last kick of the ball. We were chasing fucking balls at the 89th minute to take a quick corner. At the 89th minute, winning 9-0. So that's honestly, man, I'm so fucking buzzing. And obviously the week before getting into this fucking Rotten Mob game.
What did Big Ange say last season, mate? What did they say at the very start of last season? It was just in the door. We don't fucking stop.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. It was the same deal at half time. Well, just before half time, we were getting corners and players were taking them quick as they could. I think it was Taylor and maybe O'Reilly on the corner. It was like, what was it, 4-0 up at that time, deep into injury time of the 7 minutes that are getting played, and Taylor's fucking taking quick corners thinking, well, can we get the fifth one? That's what we want. We never stop.
A wee question for yourself, Keiser, buddy. Obviously, first and foremost, mate, welcome on the show. I know this is
thank you for having us on the show.
Kind of forays into the podcast scene, so well done for coming on, mate. Well done for getting your boys out and showing us.
Anytime.
Do you think
actually?
Yeah, I did. I've got 2 belly buttons I had to show him. He didn't believe me. Both of them are innies. 2 belly buttons and a wee ball bag.
Well, see later on, mate, you can get your innies outies and shows, right? But,
no problem.
Right, just a wee quick question, mate. Obviously, generally, if Celtic had beaten I'll take that back. If Celtic had pumped a team 9-0 regularly, there might have been some concerns and some detractors saying, oh, it's just the Scottish League and the teams are rotten on that. But since Liverpool beat Bournemouth 9-0 yesterday and the greatest fucking tournament ever known to man, do you think now that this can be a case of it's just down to a team playing with absolute confidence and there's nobody can take anything away from it by saying it's just a shitey league, because guess what? They've just done it in the league that you think is the best one in the world. So get up, What do you think about that, buddy? And what did you think about the performance?
I thought, right, just like echoing what Dale just said there as well, like the performance, the desire, the play, just all coming together. like I was discussing before, right, elsewhere, that it's all, we just seem to be coming of age. All the players are coming of age. They're all arriving. That very much there was like an arrival performance. See the bit in Ghostbusters where the fridge lights up and the door opens and it's like, oh, there's only Zool. You get me? That was that. That was the arrival moment of our team. Like, leading into the games that are coming up, obviously the massive tie with Real Madrid, that is like laying down a marker and saying, here we are. And okay, Dundee United, right? Maximum respect we gave them in the lead up to the game, preparing for the absolute best Dundee United that could show up on the day. And at the beginning of the game, they looked up for that. Fletcher was playing well. Like, I actually tweeted out and says, Fletcher must have seen some of the things I was saying. Like, if we were going to get a third striker, we should go for somebody with aerial prowess because it's something we can add to the team. He's obviously seen that and been like, any header, I'm in for it. I've got a fucking ponytail and I don't give a fuck. Man bun and a beard, I'm in it. You know what I mean? And I think their performance in the initial stages was a fair enough performance. Celtic just blew them away with utter football. The fact that they came out and tried to play, left the kind of spaces that we've all been talking about Celtic being able to exploit. Abada being more direct than Maeda, hammering the ball in the line, running and crossing it in. Okay, all his crosses weren't spot on. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't just like the targeting, a precise sniper, but he was doing it. He was hitting that ball and he was running. Jota was on fire. Calmac was solid. Like, not one thing about one of our players could I pick out and be like, I was unhappy with that. I was unhappy with how long Joe Hart stayed down. He should have up faster and he should have played the Undertaker theme music when he rose. You get me, bro? Bong. He was raging. He's like,
I was the same. I spoke to Paddy and before we come on and you're thinking, do you go on and try and when you do podcasts, you try. Obviously, you can't go on and just praise everybody all the time. And if you slag folk, then Twitter and Facebook go fucking mental and think you're a wanker. But see, honestly, the day it's so hard to nitpick. I think that the only thing the day was for me personally was obviously Starfelt making that mistake, and they get a chance that they just put by the post. And the other one is Paddy knows I've had a Turnbull loving for fucking years. Now, I wasn't going to mention this because I've tried to back the boy up for so long that Turnbull was running about like a fucking maniac at 6-0 down, try to take corners quick and try to do this and try to do that. I'm going, why did you not do that the last 3 weeks and you'd have maybe been in the team today? But that's my only two negative comments, Patrick. I would love to get right back to the very start and get fucking tore into this 90 minutes because it was absolutely fucking phenomenal.
Well, before we do it, I've got a quick question for McGinty. It's something that you and I spoke about earlier. Off camera. No, don't you worry.
I thought we were still talking about negatives.
Don't you worry.
I can
that will come.
I'll just check the schedule.
That will come, mate. Don't you worry. No, but first and foremost, obviously, Celtic have been playing the majority of the games after a certain team that you don't want me to mention. Now, in the last few weeks, bar the Hibs game aside, they have went out and scored maybe 3 goals, 4 goals, this and that. And the following day, as far as I'm aware, Celtic has come out and responded by scoring even more goals to get back onto the top of the league, right? So obviously that's a team who is capable of showing what they're all about, and they're showing everybody else what they're all about. But do you think that we're just focusing on ourselves now, and we're just putting everything that we've got into our own performances?
Aye, and I just jotted down the word that you used there, and it's something that you know that the media is going to use, is that Celtic respond to something that the Rangers do. And you know what? Fuck them. Who cares about them? All we can do is our job. So it's our responsibility to take care of our game and just no listen to that crap. We do our thing. Doesn't matter what anybody else does before us or after us. Just fucking play our game. And that's all we do. Fuck them.
Right, excellent. I don't even know where to start with this, man. I've got a phone.
Well, why don't we start with the Joe Hart incident, Patrick? Go with that.
Right, we'll get right. Aye, that's a good one. Let's get that out of the road because that's sandwiched in between some cracking goals. There's a wee ice cream cone in the corner. So the Joe Hart injury. So there was a long range shot for the Dundee United player. Joe Hart did well to get down his down low to parry it away. Unfortunately, the ball kind of bobbled in front of him. Fletcher took the time to pounce on it, but as we saw, Delve in the replays, he didn't actually get anything on the ball.
Yeah,
he basically fucking kicked Joe Hart right in the head, causing Joe Hart to have his head burst opened. He ended up requiring stitches. The game had a stoppage of 6.5 minutes.
Yeah,
Del, you and I were talking about this, so I'll ask you the question, mate. Do you think that was a deserved yellow which Fletcher got, or should have been more?
First of all, fucking fair play to Joe Hart for playing on. You obviously seen the guy with the old staple gun. I've had a few of them myself, but initially, Paddy, we spoke about it, and if that was at the other side of the park, we would have been absolutely screaming for a Celtic striker to go in and win that ball. Absolutely no doubt about it. We're wanting Giamakis or Kyogo or whoever it may be to go in and win that ball. What I will say is, I think most people would have seen the instance as it happened on live TV. The ball's there to be won. Fletcher's went for it, and you seen right away. You seen the blood coming out of Joe Hart's head, and you're thinking, oh, "What the fuck's happened there?" In the slow motion, and us obviously not having VAR in Scotland, then my initial thought was, fair play to Fletcher. He's went for the ball. He's not won it. You watch it in slow motion, Paddy. His studs are there. His studs are showing.
Yep.
He's absolutely nowhere near the ball, and he's caught Joe Hart in the top of the head.
Yep.
VAR in whatever country, that's a fucking straight red. I don't care what anybody says. If Giamakis had went for that ball and went in that way, we would have been like, aye, fair enough. If you've seen the slow motion, then it's a straight red. I don't know where the yellow card comes into the equation. I don't know where it comes into the fucking equation. The refs either no seen it and it does they book him at all, or it's a fucking straight red. It's as simple as that. So the
rules are there for everybody to see. If it's anywhere else in the park, as you said and as we spoke about earlier on, if you go into a tackle with your studs showing and you make contact with somebody, it's automatic as a red card because you're showing your studs.
I never seen that stud shown, but initially, Paddy.
But as you say, like if the VAR was in, we could have challenged that. The referee could have looked at it, right? But you and I, Keiser, I'm going to come to you in a wee second, buddy, because I don't know if you've really heard any of my fucking rants toward a certain individual yet, but I'm going to get in it in a wee second.
Your rants, bro, all the time.
when you saw that incident back, we were all watching the same channel, which was a certain Rupert Murdoch one leg. It was as clear as day what happened. He came in, he didn't even go. He probably did go for the ball to an extent, right? But that doesn't matter. He fucking kicked him right in the head, the tap of the head. Studs up, studs showing, and he's burst Joe Hart's head open, right? Now, there was a certain commentator who I've got a bit of beef with, as you know, fucking Mr. Andy Walker, sitting there reporting for Sky. He's got more cameras in front of him than I have, more telemonitors in front of him than I have. Joe Hart's lying there with his fucking head busting. It's like a fucking red river coming for the top of his head. And that arsehole is sitting there, live on telly going, oh, Stephen Fletcher had every right to go for it. But I mean, I think he might have just caught him in the chest there. So how the fuck do you think that the blood was pouring at his head then, you fucking clown? You've got a fucking forehead like the Odeon cinema, mate, and you're sitting there going, aye, maybe one of his studs caught his head. No, you're fucking kidding me on. That is an absolute moron, wanker, arsehole. Anyway, on to you, Keiser. What did you make of the incident, Pop?
What was your initial thought, Keiser? That's what I'll ask you. What was your initial thought in the split second that the challenge was made?
I was playing. I would have went for the ball. Bro? I was like, when he went in for the ball, I was like, right, fair enough. He had the opportunity to attack the ball and go for it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Joe Hart's got a long face or nothing, right? But Joe Hart's got some length of face, mate, right? That's a contributing factor. but it's dangerous play. The keeper's on the ground. It's a shot to his head. That's dangerous again. Keepers are already protected because of head injuries and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So for me, it should have been greeted with a red card. Not only that, later on in the game as well, right? There was Juranovic picked up the ball at the edge of the box and player came sliding right into the back of him, just went right through him, won the ball. It looked like quite a good challenge, you know what I mean? I'm not saying it was a horrendous challenge or nothing like that. Looked like he got the ball, but came straight through the back of the player, and I was like, that's dangerous play right there as well. You know what I mean? That should have been something should have been done about that. The referee was really weak. You know what I mean? I think he let the game flow, tried to stay away from controversy. So he wasn't going to make any big decisions if there was any big decisions to be made. That's what it looked like to me. It was like if VAR was implemented and he could see a replay of that, he would have been probably forced to send him off, and they'd have been forced to take responsibility. And that's probably what VAR's going to do, is force people to take responsibility, or it's going to I don't know, right? I like the way it's done in certain sports where it goes to the referee and he's got the headset on and he's like, it's good. You get a fucking 3-second review, 4-second review. Obviously, the ref needs to go and view a screen. But I would like, when he goes to view the screen, I would like him to take our manager and the opposing team's manager with him. And
not bad shout.
His shoulder and
you get to do that in the game.
You're professionals, you get me, bro.
There's two players allowed to approach a referee during a game, and it's the two captains. Do you know what I mean? So I quite like that idea as well. But McGinty, what's your thoughts on it, mate?
Initially, when the challenge went in, it was all a bit kind of fast-paced and a bit unusual as such, and you think, all right, that's a foul. Oh, crap, Hart's down for a bit longer than I want him to be down.
Right.
And then you suddenly see the blood. And this happens within a second or two. You know, you're quickly thinking, oh, fuck, oh, shit. Then when you see it on the second viewing, as you say, Paddy, with Andy Walker coming out with that nonsense at one point saying he caught him on the chest and the likes, when you see it on a second viewing, it studs up. I don't believe Fletcher meant any dangerous stuff to
him. By the way.
But he is due and fair to go for it. It's a drop ball. Hart's not in control of it. I get that. But he goes in with his studs shown, and he goes in a bit too fast and a bit too reckless. So a red card is probably justified quite rightly there.
Yeah.
He gets to the yellow, and you can actually hear the boos from United fans, which I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that they probably not realised how dangerous it was. But I don't think anybody will be begrudging a red card in that situation. And as Keiser says, you bring VAR in, it forces that decision to be made. And we've seen a few decisions so far in the last few weeks, just the opening few weeks of this season, that these big decisions need to be pushed on.
Do you think the yellow card, Paddy and McGinty, you were talking about it anyway, but do you think that yellow card's just post-incident? Because the referee's obviously seen the blood, he's seen whatever's happened to his head. Because, see, before it, I don't think he's given Fletcher a yellow card. I don't think he's doing it.
100%. And there's a challenge later on, I think there was, I can't remember exactly, but there's a moment where the ref looks at a challenge and he waits a half a second and you can see him wondering, is it the O'Reilly tackle? That's what it was. When he recovered and he made that tackle, he stops and he looks at it for a second. You can almost see the thought bubble of, can I give something for this? Should I give something for this? No, I don't think it's fucking close enough. I might get my arse felt for this. And he decides not to, which is the right call. But you can see the thought process with these. And VAR pushes that into place, hopefully. Because even if he gave the foul against O'Reilly, VAR would correct that. And VAR would have gave, unfortunately for Fletcher, VAR would have gave Fletcher a red card.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll see something happen about hanging like that in the future. But that's been 19 minutes yet. We've not even started on the game yet. So so before we started off, there was 3 changes for the last team. So Abada came in for Maeda, Tati came in for Turnbull, Starfelt came in for Yen, and Giacomakis wasn't even in the squad. But it turns out later on, was it
Shatty
Crocker? Was it saying that he was unwell in the home? So
he shot himself on the way up there.
Probably. I shot himself in the mighty Dundee United, right? So I'll just quickly run through the first half because I really don't know how to approach this, mate. Fucking 9 goals to get through.
He's getting in the back of the bus. So, like, go on and no play me, Ange. Go on and no play.
So first 16 minutes, we've got the goal. Kyogo. It started off at the back with Vickers, headed it back to Hatati in the centre mid. Hatate put the ball through to Abada beside him. Abada put an absolutely brilliant first time slotted through ball to Jota on the left hand side. Jota, first time, crossed it into Kyogo. A low-driven cross. Kyogo takes one touch, boom, sets himself up, and it's a goal right by the keeper's right-hand side. Absolute belter. Then, of course, we had the heart injury after that. Then second after that, 39 minutes. Kyogo with second goal. So O'Reilly won possession just off the centre of the pitch. He rolled the ball into Kyogo. Kyogo doesn't even look. Kyogo just takes a fucking a shot at it, but it's like one of the kind of finesse, right-footed curling shots, about 25 yards out. The
goalie should have got that, but Paddy. The goalie should have got that.
No.
Andy Walker said that, remember?
Did he?
You've done
Oh,
that
he should have got it. He should have got it, mate.
Right, I'm going to
You've done that yourself. The ball comes across, and just the speed of the ball, and it feels like the ball's actually got a bit of weight to it when you strike it, and you barely need to put any power through it, and before you know it, it's just flying off the end of your boot.
The power's the thing. I know you were running through that first half, Paddy, but McGinty, what I did notice today, and obviously trying to run through the first half.
Interrupting you as well, Paddy, bro.
No, you're so
how much a difference in link up and intensity, McGinty, do you see with Juranovic and Abada on the right hand side compared to Maida? I thought the two of them were absolutely phenomenal on the right hand side today.
I thought it was a great partnership we were seeing at times last season as well. Juranovic and Abada going down the right. Abada's not going to do defensive work, the same as Jota doesn't do defensive work. A lot of people seem to think that Abada needs to add something to his game, and they kind of allude to the defensive side. Nah, that's not what he needs to add.
He needs to add.
Aye, if he needs to add anything for me, though, it's being able to turn his man, because he's so direct, so strong in his running. He's got a powerful shot, but sometimes he just needs to turn his man or just take the little half step to the left to get his shot off better. But that's nitpicking at its finest detail, because Abada and Juranovic, they link up so well, they overlap and underlap each other all day long, and they give each other the chance, especially Abada with Juranovic kind of going on the outside, gives Abada the chance to cut in so much and so well that we see so many goals today where it's those easy cutbacks. It's a brilliant partnership, and that's no discredit to Ralston, who over the course of the last 12 months we've all kind of started singing the praises of. But to me today, and I'm changing the subject slightly here, that starting 11 today is a starting 11 for the season. That's our best 11.
I'll run through these other couple of goals, right, and then we'll go to half time, and then we'll analyse the performances and that, right. So obviously we spoke about Kyogo's first two goals. Then on the 46th minute, bang, hit his hat trick. So the ball came out, came across the centre of the pitch. Hatate had a beautiful kind of half dummy. Fell at the left hand side to Matt O'Reilly. He's kind of done a side-footed float into the back post. Abada, which doing what he does finest, he's ghosted the defender at the back post, used his speed to actually manage to get the ball. He's caught it lovely, and he's crossed it into Kyogo, who again found space, got his hat trick, brilliant. Kind of a tap in, but it was still a good goal. And then I've got 46 minutes plus 6, obviously, because Joe Hart was injured for 6. Great build up.
Snapper, bro. Like that, man.
Beautiful, mate. Great build up play at the back for Celtic. Fucking ball just goes up, and I've actually lost fucking touch on my writing. It was a goal. Another goal for Celtic.
I can run through the rest of the half. So obviously, Kyogo's hat trick, Paddy, was 47 minutes. The Jota to Abada O'Reilly goal, assist. Then I'm into the second half, mate. So you've only missed like fucking 3 minutes. So don't chuck papers there and start spitting the dummy at. You know what I mean? It's fine.
Here, do you think this is a fucking Celtic supporters podcast?
No, mate. I'm just trying to keep you in check. I'm just trying to keep you in check.
That's us up to half time.
Good lad.
No, I've still got another 5 goals to go after that, mate. Fuck.
I'm impressed we got to 24 minutes here, because I already started losing track of how many goals and who scored what and when they scored it. So I'm actually impressed that you two have kept track this far.
I'm surprised Paddy can write, but fucking hi ho.
Yeah, you see my writing there, cunt, it's lovely. But no, listen, that's what all they kind of talk about. The talk about was at the start of the game. before the start of the game, sorry, we were talking about Giakoumakis being out. You know, there was a few rumours going about, oh, he's fucking unhappy and he's getting Celtic, this and that. Turns out, Ian Crocker says he's unwell. We were talking about, like, last week or two, how do we fit the two strikers in? How does Giakoumakis get a game? Is he going to be happy? But I guarantee you, Giakoumakis, even though he'll be in the house sitting with his arse on the pan, watching the game on an iPad, he'll be delighted, absolutely delighted to see his team, his squad put in a magnificent performance. But he'll also be, as a natural striker, as somebody that wants to get into the first team, he'd have been personally fucking like, oh no, Kyogo's just scored a hat-trick. How am I going to get into this team, McGinty? How do we accommodate these two guys? Or is it a case of we just play whoever's scoring, whoever's doing the best?
Steve Van Etten, lads.
Yeah.
Here, don't get us a 99er.
A double nugget, bro.
69er, aye.
That's a wrong number, bro. Wrong number.
just an upside down 9, mate. That's what it is.
That's that, mate. The 6 is in the wrong way, mate.
That's what she said.
just take cartwheels.
McGinty, you're a fan of Abada, aren't you? It's fair to say
big fan.
Big fan. What did you think his performance today? Because obviously Maeda has been the one who's played kind of for the start of the season, and it was a surprise for me that Abada started in front of Maeda. But what did you think about his performance overall? I know obviously we're just into the first half, but overall, mate, what did you think?
I think overall he showed himself well. He's definitely shows for the ball a lot. He can drive, as I said earlier. He's got a great drive on him. He's got a great kind of he does need to add the little bit of kind of skillful technical ability to get by a man, to get the better shot off, because too often it's just a rocket of a shot that often bounces off the first guy sometimes. But he's getting into such good positions that inevitably he's going to get a goal or 3 every game that he plays. He's a fantastic player to have. I think Maeda is a phenomenal player to have as well, and to get both of those in the team, whilst also keeping Jota in the team, impossible. The same way it's impossible to play Kyogo and Giakoumakis at the same time, including 2 of those other 3. We just don't have positions for it. So the beauty is we can do what we did today. You can bring Maeda on with 30 minutes to go, or you could do Giakoumakis once he's back fit and all the rest of it. It's just a luxury of talent. That front 3 is just blessed right now with 5 or 6 quality players.
Paddy, I know it's your podcast, but I'll ask you a question.
Yes, mate.
How much more of a threat do you think we look today with Hatate and Abada in the starting 11 compared to obviously the last week's game at Paradise and possibly the Aberdeen game at home? I thought with Turnbull at the team, and no Maeda, by the way. I do like Maeda, but Hatate and Abada starting the day, the first half especially, we looked fucking so much more of a threat with they two in the starting 11 today, mate.
Well, I said it to McGinty when he posted up the squad before the game. I says, thank fuck Turnbull. You know me, I've got kind of problems with Turnbull. Not that it's anything personal against him. I just don't think that he's bringing enough to the team, especially in certain moments. But for me, mate, Hatate's just brilliant. I said it at the start of last season when he first came in. You can see what he brings to the team. He's got boundless energy. He's got strength. He's got the vision. He's got passing. He can play in a multitude of positions in midfield. And I know, obviously, towards the tail end of last season, he'd fitness issues, and then he's had a couple of injuries at the start of this. But I just think he's an absolutely brilliant player. He fits in so seamlessly in this team. And today, like, as you say, the last couple of games, we've looked a wee bit lacklustre in the midfield. I think even the day when Hatate came in, he made O'Reilly look better, because O'Reilly had somebody else playing in midfield. I know that might sound a bit harsh towards Turnbull, but Turnbull's playing at like 50-60% for me. When Hatate comes in, he's playing at 80, 90, 100. And that's surely going to bring the confidence into a midfielder. What about yourself, Keiser? What do you think about that, mate? Are you a fan of Turnbull and Hatate?
I love Turnbull, the way he came in, right, mate, when he picked up the injury and he went away and worked. Like that career-threatening knee injury before he came in. And his behaviour on social media and all that, like, it was really endearing towards the Celtic support, you know what I mean? when he eventually came in, and he was one of the only shining lights when we had a bad season. I see that comment there as well, but like I don't think any player is off the market, right? I don't think any player is off the market at our club. I think
he's got the West Ham according to that fucking baldy jig fucking Wankstein on Twitter, you know.
He's not, but you know what I mean.
Oh, by the way,
some people just say things to sensationalise things.
The fixtures.
What was that, Paddy? Sorry.
Was that wee arsehole that put the tweet out about the fixtures?
Yes, mate.
Aye. By the way, you prick.
Aye, mate. The guy's an absolute banger. Let's not get involved in Twitter spats, but let's get into the second half. The best performance in the 20th century. Let's keep going.
I'm not going to. As I was saying, right, bro. As I was saying, right. Sorry, Del.
Yeah.
No,
boys, you know what I mean? I'm sitting here pure quiet and just like let us say something. As I was saying, mate, I think Hatate's a monster, and I think these players like O'Reilly and Hatate, when they get into the Champions League, they're going to get international recognition, right? The national call-ups are going to come. The big team interest for across the globe's going to come, and there's no player that we are going to be able to like. If Ange Postecoglou manages to retain this squad next year, and we qualify again for the Champions League, as I think we will, as champions, march straight in there. If he keeps the squad together and he can manage to hold this squad together, that will be just as good a feat as if he was to go all the way with the squad. You know what I mean? Because the door's going to get knocked, and it's going to be heavy hitters that come knocking, looking to turn heads. And the media and social media in this country, there's an element of that just can't wait to. They've moved beyond the narrative of trying to tear us down, right? And they just can't wait to link up players with everybody. And like, look, we're turning their head. Look at him, Atletico Madrid. How complimentary was he? Well, no, Real Madrid's knocking on the door for JJ. Who it was originally supposed to be, who was knocking on the door originally. I don't know where Atletico Madrid came into yet, but they did. So, like, I think we need to be careful about the positive press. Make sure it's positive about the team, the performance, and what's happening, and scrutinise what you're reading and what you're not everything's real news. There's a lot of fake news out there.
It's a great point.
Just because somebody writes breaking or official on it doesn't make it official. You know what I mean?
Oh, wankers, mate.
I got these Nike trainers and Adidas trainers, and they said official on them, and the tick was upside down, and they only had 2 stripes, right? And there's nothing like talking about with a pair of Adidas 2 stripes, bro. You know you're in trouble with a pair of 2 stripes. That's a mammy game for you, buddy. You know what I mean?
That was one of the first things I thought today, McGinty. When I was watching Abada and I was watching Kyogo and whoever else today, it was Juranovic, I think, O'Reilly, Hatate. And even though we're winning 9-0 and we're going into a derby game next Saturday, McGinty, I was absolutely buzzing with the result. I was thinking, how the fuck do we hold on to these players after even January? I know it's Dundee United away and we're still to go into Real Madrid games, but I'm thinking, fuck me, man. There's got to be people sniffing about Juranovic, Kyogo, Abada, fucking Jota, guys like this. And it terrifies you a wee bit because if you look into 2023-24 season, you could have 7 players not even at the club next year.
Well, hopefully most of them are, but 1 or 2 of them will be sold, no doubt, because at the end of the day, we are a selling club. In that respect, we buy young talent, we develop them, hopefully, and then sell them on for big bucks. We've proven in the last 5-6 years that we can get 15, 20, 25 million. And I think going into the Champions League now, for the first time in a few years, we're going to get these players in that window. And people in the comments have been saying it, and you guys have agreed with it as well at times. Guys like Abada and Hatate are just going to go up a level. They're going to be in that shop window, and they're going to go for big money. Normally, for us, we usually hear this press coming up to a Celtic Rangers game where it's, X player's about to leave and walk out the door, and this player's going to leave, because it's usually that they want out of the club. Whereas the press right now isn't coming from the Scottish media in that sense. It's not a negative. it's almost like these guys are really this fucking good that Atletico Madrid and Man United and Liverpool are sniffing about them. But the best thing that we've done as a club, and all credit to Nicholson on this one and the board, and I am usually slating this board something rotten, is that they're all getting 5-year deals.
I know, mate. I know.
It's brilliant to see. So you see, like season 23-24, we could see 5, 6, 7 of them out the door. I don't think we will. I think we'll see 2 or 3 of them, but I think we'll replace them. And they've all got big, long contracts that, guys like O'Reilly's going to go for 25 million. Guys like Jota's going to go for 30 million.
60.
50, 60. Why wouldn't they? The guy's played in Spain. He's been a Benfica product. He's clearly got it. If these guys prove it in the Champions League, clubs like Ajax and that are demanding that money. We need to start demanding it at some point.
Right, well, see before you share off the team, let's just roll into and see how well they've done for this team today. So into the second half, and it was much the same again, the 49th minute. We've done well with the possession at the back again. McGregor put O'Reilly through kind of left-hand side, and he puts the ball across, and Abada gets another goal. 54 minutes, it was the free kick. Don't know if you remember that one, so with the free kick.
Juranovic.
More or less on the line, kind of centre with the goalkeeper. O'Reilly tries to drive it low. It hits the wall, comes back off. Juranovic takes a touch by the goalkeeper's right-hand side. Where were we? Fucking 60 minutes. We had another goal in 60 minutes. Same again with Hatate. Hatate get played through on the left-hand side, much the same as O'Reilly did the goal previous to that. He got his head up and he saw Juranovic running at the back post and he puts across a lovely ball for him. 76 minutes, McGinty, you'll love this one. Somebody that you were kind of speaking about when he came on. Aaron Moy, 76 minutes, collected the ball in the centre in the midfield, pinged up a lovely ball to the back for Maeda. Maeda took control of it, and again, something that we did a lot today, we put some lovely, brilliant, low-driven crosses across the goal face. Abada managed to claim his hat-trick, and then to round it up, 80th minute, David Turnbull corner to the right-hand side of the pitch, cracking cross, big Starfelt, right his highest player. Excellent header, by the way. I must say it was a really good
header. Really good.
Very, very good header. McGinty.
Yes.
The Moy goal. Tell us what you're saying about Moy.
Right, so in the group chat, just before Aaron Moy stepped up with his James McCarthy-esque pass through the middle to shut us all up for a minute.
He's just
I was actually making the comment. I was actually making the comment though that
he's just a faulty James McCarthy. Sorry, McGinty.
No. I think he's better than McCarthy. I think he does offer us more than McCarthy does. And the last few games I've seen him, he's usually coming in, he steadies the ship, and he kind of slows the tempo down. He sees the game out. I thought coming on with 35 minutes to go. What were we, 6-0 at the time? 7-0? I think he had the prime opportunity.
62 minutes.
6-0,
aye. So he had half an hour, just under half an hour, and we're 7-0 up. He had the prime opportunity in prime time to impose himself in a more attacking sense. I think we all had the, not the illusion, but we all had the past experience of Aaron Moy being more of an attacking midfield player, whereas recently in his Celtic career, he looks to sit a lot deeper, slow the game down and kind of soak up a bit of pressure in that sense. And he seemed to be just doing the same again. It was a lot of sideways passing just before he made his wonderful pass for the secondary assist for the goal. He had passed the ball twice to Greg Taylor in the middle of the park, and Taylor passed it back to him, was almost like, going to you do something with it? Like, here's the ball, you do it. And I was getting a bit frustrated with him that he's not able to take the prime opportunity where we're hammering a team, where he's got the freedom of the pitch to just impose himself and express himself a lot better. But then, of course, he comes up with that wonderful pass over the top, which says a lot about what was happening at the time there. But he does it once.
He should be swaggering about midfield like this. I hate Moy.
I don't hate him, but he's... he was eating enough.
It's worse than that. It's more than that.
He was
burning desire.
Right, you SpongeBob, fuck up.
He wasn't doing enough for me to impress me. And then he brings that pass off. And then you see that pass happen 2 or 3 more times in the game. And it becomes a dangerous outball, which I think is something that we could use to our advantage when we're playing in games where we're not getting the freedom of the midfield and we do need that range of passing. I think he'll bring something to the team a lot more than what James McCarthy will. But overall, I'm not sold on him.
What's poor James McCarthy done to be fucking brought in?
Nothing. That's the thing. Nothing.
No, that's what I know, and that's what I'll chuck it to Keiser or Paddy. Paddy, you know, the last kind of 12 months, we spoke about James McCarthy. We always spoke about him coming on and not doing enough and just doing what he does and spraying the ball about and just coming on and not really making a major impact without giving the ball away, but keeping the ball and making interceptions and all that. Aaron Moyes kind of come in and done exactly the same thing, by the way. Exactly.
See the thing I like about Moy, right, is that whenever I've seen him, and obviously it's kind of fleeting appearances if you want to call it that, but I don't think I've seen him losing possession once with any silly passes or anything.
He does, you're right.
And the best thing about Moy when he's come on, because he's obviously started the game, so when he's come on, he's come in and he's been brought onto the park to play the deepest of the midfield, which then allows Callum McGregor to move further forward where he's even more dangerous. But listen, the guy's just in the door. I totally get what McGinty's saying. Like, it's still early days. We don't know what he's going to bring to the team. We don't know where he's going to slot in. And when you look at the performances for like McGregor, Hatate, O'Reilly, we're seeing how these guys are bringing goals into the game. They're bringing possession into the game. So it's really it's almost like a wee bit of kind of being wary of the outsiders coming in, because you don't want to split up anything good. But I think the good part obviously is that he's coming on kind of later in the games and he's allowing freedom in the games for Callum McGregor. But he's also starting to slowly build up his kind of fitness. He's starting to grow up his confidence playing for Celtic as well. And now you see today, he's actually attempting passes like that, which we've not seen anything yet because he has been kind of keeping it simple. So the new guy in the team, and he's not really showing his cards yet.
He seems like a player who, for some reason or another, is lacking confidence, and it's almost that pass that he made that got the goal. After that, he started spreading those passes around a lot more in this game, and his confidence kind of grew. Whereas before, he seems very. I mean, people go through stats at this. I've seen them already before this weekend. Biggest pass success rate and all the rest of it. Every pass finds its target and all the rest of it. That's fine when you're passing 5 yards to your side to Greg Taylor. But he needs to step that up a lot more. He needs to impose himself in the game a lot more for me. And he did eventually today. So credit where it's due. But I think the thing is, it's confidence. He needs to find his role on the side. But he's done more than enough to say he's a good signing. On a free transfer, he's a cracking signing. I've nothing wrong with him.
Well, just before I ask yourself, Keiser,
are you all right there, Del, mate? I've medical experience.
Right, hold on now. I was just going to ask you there, McGinty, right? I don't think it's a confidence thing with Moy. But see when we're talking about that, like you and I are the same. We want a big kind of imposing centre midfielder to come in, don't we? That kind of defensive midfielder.
We want it, but I don't think we're getting it.
Aye, but see if that's the case, then would we be asking that midfielder to come in and play any different to what Moy has? Just you get the ball and you pass on to guys like Hatate, McGregor, O'Reilly, let them go and do their thing.
Probably no. To be honest, probably no, and that's why I don't think we're going to see it. If we bring in a dominant midfielder that we've talked about before on the podcast, is somebody that's going to take the place off Moy, or arguably going to disrupt the middle three that started the game, which for me, McGregor, Hatate and O'Reilly, that's your starting trio every game for the rest of the season, as long as they're all fighting fit. That's the trio that's going to control most of our games. Mm-hmm. So anybody who comes in is going to come in for specific reasons, much like Giamakis up front. He's going to come in for a specific reason that we need a destroyer in the big games. But at this stage, I don't see Ange doing that. I think he's going to stick by his principles, and quite rightly so. It's worked for him throughout his career, and it's worked for him so far at Celtic. So keep going.
Right, guys. What do you think about the midfield, mate? Are you happy with Are you happy with the way it's looking is going to be the first team setup of McGregor, Hatate and O'Reilly? You happy with the guys that's coming in? Obviously, you said you're a Turnbull fan. Are you quite happy with Moy as well? What's your thoughts, mate?
I think the day showed clearly that we need.
You're no Keiser.
All right, sorry.
No, Del, you batter in there, mate, because you just came back. You know what I mean? You batter in, carry on, brother. Interested to hear anyway.
No, what I thought the day was in regard to, obviously, Giamakis been injured and McCarthy being back on the bench, which he wasn't last week. I thought it just it just showed that we needed a central midfielder. It showed that we needed another striker. Giamakis not being there the day and Kyogo playing however many minutes he played. That we definitely need a centre forward. We definitely need another central midfielder because James McCarthy on the bench next Saturday against Rangers isn't a guy that I want to see as an option to come on against Rangers. He's not a guy I want to see an option. If Giamakis is shaking his pants next Friday night, I don't want Kyogo and no other option on the bench. That's the way I'm looking at it. So I know we've only got another couple of days of the transfer window, so
Thursday,
it's a big shout, Paddy. It's a big shout, and obviously Albie Rajetti's still there and Mikey Johnson's still there, and that might be the factor that we haven't brought anybody else in.
Rajetti and Johnson.
So
I
think we need.
By the way, listen, don't forget we've signed the
sorry. But I think today, Paddy, Keiser and McGinty, it shows that if one of our strikers have got fucking diarrhea, then if Kyogo gets injured, then where do we go? Who do we look to?
We've already looked at these options, mate. So, like, you've still got Abada there who can play up front, did reasonably well last season, and you've got Maeda. You know what I mean? So there's still technically roles there for other guys. It's just we've not got a striker.
Number 9.
Yeah. We've got a new number 9. I know, do you know what I mean? And apparently he came through up front as well. But that's Keiser, what do you think about that, mate? Are you just get back to the centre midfield point I'd asked you, as what Dell's just brought up. What do you think
about the centre midfield?
Are you happy with the centre midfield?
I think if we picked up like a terrier or a player, you get me, a defensive
terrier.
Terrier, right? If we picked up somebody who's solid, who's going to break up play, then what exactly is he going to do when he's got the ball at his feet? He's only going to break up the play and distribute it to the players who are more creative straight away. So Hatate and stuff like that very much would be a utility player. Very much Moy can fill that role right now. You know what I mean? McCarthy's obviously getting a wage because he's funny. I don't know if I'm just seeing it.
Funny boys.
You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, I swear to God, I hope McCarthy comes in and fucking gets it right up every single one.
I swear to God, McCarthy's the spitting fucking image of the hamburger. See the wee guy who steals the hamburgers? He's a spitting image of him, mate. And he's up at Parkhead just stealing a fucking wage like that. Fucking hell, man. Get him if we get his wages back, give me 4 years back.
He actually looks like the guy for the Mask film. No Jim Carrey, the other one, Rocky. Google it.
See if he, I think when Celtic signed him, they thought they were going to roll 4 years back with this contract. It was some sort of secret binding deal that we're going to roll the years back for him, because we should have bought him years ago when he was really when he's a fantastic player. Right, I'm no criticising his level of play, except for when he's at us. Right, I think when he's come in, it's kind of like he's seen it as a big hurrah and like he can finish his career with us and play at the club that he loves and all that. But it never always works out like that. You know what I mean? The dreams don't go the way you dream them. Sometimes they turn into nightmares, and you need to know when to waken up and go for a wee shower and a wee cup of Horlicks and find another club. You know what I mean? So I would ideally like a destroying midfielder, somebody who's an absolute tank. You get me? Like
Wanyama.
Get Bobo Baldi and Wanyama and put the two of them in a bag and make them breed. And what comes out of it, just put that in midfield. Just take the baby and put it in midfield. You know what I mean?
That's what we, all four of us, I think, and Gavin as well on the podcast when he's on, all four of us want to see that. And I think that's from decades.
No, the Wanyama and Bobo Baldi in a bag thing.
I don't want to see that personally, but we want to see the love child that comes out of it.
Yeah.
But we all
got a chopper, you know what I mean?
I think we all want that. I think that's born out of how we've played football for a long, long time. And especially when we look to the fear that we all have in European football. But at the same time, for years now, well, up until he's left last year.
European football, brother.
We should actually take our game straight to them and see what happens. I'm all confidence for it. But when it comes to that defensive midfielder, how many years have we actually said it in Scott Brown's last couple of seasons that we don't need a defensive midfielder in the SPFL? We don't. We're proven today we just don't need it. I really just don't see Ange bringing that guy in. As much as we can all sit here thinking we kind of need it, I think that's just born out of how we've played and seen football.
You look at last season, look at the tail end to last season, right? Obviously, we were playing some beautiful, sexy, free-flowing, fast, fucking speedy football. And then I know there was issues with kind of fitness, and we'd asked guys that had played 2 seasons in the trot without a break to come in and go and be part of a sprint, no a marathon, which was what the league last year was. But as soon as the rotten mob for Govan started to change their system to counter us, because they couldn't catch us playing football, so they had to catch us by no playing football and by being horrible, dirty, mutant, hacking bastards. As soon as they started doing that, they started beating us. They started winning midfield battles. They started winning the midfield. They started getting goals. They started getting games and fucking getting victories and beating us. And we couldn't counter that physical aspect in midfield. Yes, we were great on the eye. Very, very good. And we were good going forward. And we were good passing. But as soon as the going get tough, we lost our edge a wee bit. It was almost a wee bit like men playing boys at times, which I fucking absolutely despise to admit, but it's true. So that's why, for me, absolutely 100% agreement with you, mate. I would love to see that guy there, even if it's maybe a younger guy that you can just bring in, or an older guy, an experienced campaigner, somebody that you can just bring in for games like that, where you need to sit back and defend the lead, where you need to go in and throw a couple of dirty elbows, you know, because we can't just play beautiful football all the time. Surely, fuck. If you're going to somewhere like Alloa, maybe we went to Alloa, was it last season? Went to Alloa last season, and we did the day we had the Gucci's in the door. His first start, bang, fucked him, broke his leg.
I think the difference with this year, Paddy, to last year is 100% the Champions League. That's the difference for this year and last year, because we can stroll through the league this year with the squad we've got and go on to win a treble without any qualms. We can go and do that. But if you go into a Champions League group, and obviously we know who we're playing now, so Callum McGregor has never ever been a central defensive midfielder in his career. Until Scott Brown left, Callum McGregor's never been a central defensive midfielder. If you look pre-Scott Brown, maybe 2 or 3 years when Scott Brown was in the squad, Callum McGregor was an attacking midfielder who got his big goals in semi-finals and finals and fucking European games. That's where Cal Mac's at his best. So the central defensive midfielder thing, it's a big thing. Is Aaron Moy going to be the guy that comes in and does that? Well, possibly not, because Ange Postecoglou has no played him. We've no dipped our toe into the Real Madrid games and the Leipzig games as yet. So we don't know if we get a Real Madrid game and Ange Postecoglou decides to play fucking Aaron Moy and McGregor and Hatate in a more forward position. We don't know. We don't know where they're going. But Callum McGregor is certainly not a fucking defensive midfield player. I think he's better going forward. I think he's creative. Is he being fucking held back a wee bit in the way Ange Postecoglou plays style of football, or is it because he doesn't believe in Aaron Moy and James McCarthy enough? There's so many questions still to be asked, and this isn't a negative fucking factor on the day's game, but Callum McGregor's not a central defensive midfielder. If we can get another number 9 in and get rid of the players we've already spoke about and get somebody else in to sit and fucking demand that midfield, maybe Aaron Moy's the man. Maybe he is the man, but it's a long season ahead, and we just don't know where it's going to go. It's hard to fucking think.
Well, I can look at the boys here, right, and I can say, like, we've all played football in some capacity in my life, right? 11 aside, 7 aside, 5 asides, right? You've got that team in the league that you're playing, and it's a hostile environment. You know what I mean? It's hostile, and you've got that one player in the team who doesn't care and steps up and goes, "Fuck it, I'm going through him." And it gives the rest of the team confidence. It's a buzz. You need that man, that big guy who just, I don't care. You know what I mean? Boom, we're doing it. Middle of Yoker, they're setting motors on fire around the park. I don't fucking care. You know what I mean? Give me the alley tip, boot suit. Boom, I'm in there. You know what I mean? You need that. Everything that's truly beautiful needs a little bit of flaws because it highlights the beauty. You get me? It contrasts what's beautiful about Celtic. We need that big destroying.
Listen, see if you've got a defender. See if you've got a defender. That defender might be the best defender in the world, right? But see if he's a pretty defender. Mm-hmm. You're always going to get somebody that's want to go and smash him.
Look at Caldwell, right, mate? When we played Man United and Ruud van Nistelrooy hammered a shot and he put his face in front of the ball while he was sitting in the ground. He wasn't shying away or hiding for the ball like, "Oh, I'll be on Instagram tonight with a bloody nose." You know what I mean? He put his face right in front of the ball. Clatter. Ferguson says after the game, "That's fucking defending. That's what defending looks like. You put your body in the line, you do anything for your team."
But in all fairness, so he didn't really have to sacrifice it.
Well, he wasn't gambling with a lot. I thought the ball actually improved them. You get me, bro? It said Mitre across his forehead after that. You know what I mean? He was the mould master.
All right, you man.
Yo!
Look where he's going, Paddy, look.
What's that?
Benzema.
Right, you. Piss off.
Big Cameron Carter-Vickers is going to shut him down.
Dead and fire. Told him.
Dead
and fire, innit?
What about
Say hi to Paddy. But tell Paddy what you done today. Did you score a goal?
Yeah. It's well done, me, man.
Yeah. Right, beat it, you know.
Right, get to. Right. That sounds well.
Phone your pals at Real Madrid and tell them we scored 9 today, and that was the B team. That was the B team.
I'm going to ask everyone who's right. I'm going to start with you, buddy. Man of the match. Man of the match and why?
Right, man. Kyogo. First of the 2 hat tricks. He was absolutely unplayable in that first half. He led the line really, really well. He was all about for the tempo. He's all about showing for the ball. Without him, I don't think we get the first few goals. I don't think we go on to such high scoring games. He started everything for me, Kyogo.
Nice one. Keiser.
For me, despite all the beauty that was going on in the pitch, and to stay kind of true that what we were saying is every team needs a wee bit ugly, I still think Greg Taylor was one of the best players. Greg Taylor was my man of the match today. I think he was tireless, industrious, never made any mistakes. Every team who targets Celtic and target our defence or look for something to exploit, push Greg Taylor, and there the wee man is, just pissing into the wind and not even getting wet. Fucking love it. Keep going, wee chap. You know what I mean? Just
do you think he's do you think the guy that came on later on in the game, Bernabei, is going to be a threat to him, or do you think that's pushing Taylor on even more?
I think it's pushing Taylor. I think if you look at what the assets that Bernabei will be bringing, right, he's going to be a lot happier to push forward and attack and supply balls for the wing and invert because he's got good close control and good touch. He's a good player. You know what I mean? So that's pushing Greg Taylor on. He's needing to add that to his game. And see, when he started adding that, he's went, Jesus fucking Christ, I'm actually good at this. I'm actually good at pushing forward and putting other people in the back foot. See, when you're not just hiding in a corner and being pressured constantly, it's the same thing in boxing. If you put your hands up and hide in a corner and just take constant pressure, all right, it's a rope-a-dope. If you're amazing, you get me? But just taking that constant pressure, you're always going to falter. Your mistakes are always highlighted. Now he's on the front foot, he's pushing forward. The worst thing Bernabei did was not behave himself correctly when he came in. But I trust the manager in the club to deal with that. And I was 21 once before, liked to drink beers, and I'd done a lot of stupid things. You know what I mean? Horrendously stupid things.
I think,
trust
I
me.
think we've all been there, mate, but as what it is. Listen, let them deal with that. We only give a fuck what's happening.
Bro, I wore a onesie, right? I wore a onesie the first time I met my partner's grandmother. It was a full onesie, right? And I done a forward roly-poly, and it ripped between the legs, and my sausage and sack came right out, and our granny was just standing there like that. And this is the guy. This is the guy that you love. This is the man.
I hope it wasn't called that day, mate.
She was calling for a substitution, bro. She was like, size it at me. Come on. Swap him in him.
Oh, man.
Right, Dale, what about you, mate? Who's your man of the match today and why?
I'm going to say Abada, mate. And
Abada?
I know it's quite an easy choice because he scored a hat trick, but I think Abada coming in, getting a first start, and not just scoring 3 goals, but getting assists as well. It's quite difficult to come in, not out the cold, because Abada's been coming on and getting substitutes appearances and all that, but
he's coming out a wee hamster who's a cotton wool, bro. And just got a wee hamster who's a cotton wool, and he just takes a bad off and he puts him in it, and he opens it and he looks at him like he's a wee diamond and like.
There you go. That's Keiser's just hiding that. But Abada for me, mate. Just first start, getting 3 goals, getting assists. It's a hard gig, mate. I know you go up there and win 9-0, and it's an absolute piss take. But as we said earlier, the Tourist League Liverpool beat Bournemouth yesterday. So for me, Abada coming in, mate. The starting 11, scoring 3 goals. They've been absolutely fucking outstanding. You just don't come in off a bench and do what you do again and not be a very, very good player. And for me, Abada, I don't think it's very, very hard to pick her. I thought Jota was good. I thought Hart, after his injury, without doing fuck all, done well just to carry on and do what he done.
He looked a bit woozy, didn't he, after it? See when he went for the ball and after it.
Aye, Liel Abada for me, Paddy boy. Liel Abada.
Joe Hart looked a bit woozy, didn't he, Dale?
Just on that touch here, mate, you're right. I thought that there was going to be kind of more emphasis on, protecting people with head injuries this season. So obviously that was clearly a head injury that Joe Hart. And I thought straight away, I texted that to yourself, McGinty, and your audio, that I said that'll be Joe Hart off because his head's burst, He took a bad one.
Even my missus said that, and she's not got a fucking clue about Fitba. But
well, listen, even a fucking broken clock's rang at some point, or whatever. Like, you know what I mean?
Even a broken clock is right once a day.
That's what I meant to say.
Egyptian kind as well. I thought Juranovic was fucking outstanding today as well, by the way.
Good shout.
Very good.
Yeah,
very good.
I'm going to go with big Matt O'Reilly, believe it or not, because I thought a lot of stuff came through him today. As I say, he looked to be a different.
My wee cousin.
Not like you, mate. He's got hair and he's beautiful and fucking makes sense. No, I thought everything good that came today mostly came through him. I thought he looked like a man possessed today.
Looking for a move, Patrick?
No. I just totally think that it was full of confidence today, and he looked as if he knew that he had a proper midfield partner today, somebody that was going to be beside him and backing him up. And he just came out and performed with that kind of freedom where he was able to show himself and show exactly what he can do without trying too hard. Not that I say any disrespect to Dundee United, even though we pumped them 9-0, but I don't think
on the disrespect, I'll ask Mr. McGinty. 23 goals conceded in 4 games, Mr. McGinty, for Dundee United. is Jack Ross's tenure at United finito? Is he getting sacked either this evening or tomorrow morning?
Don't give a fuck. Should have been 24 goals conceded.
Fucking great answer. That's why I love this cunt. That's why I love him. I don't give a fuck. Great answer.
I don't.
Great answer, man. Great answer. Mate, it's fucking superb, mate.
Nah, I mean, Jack Ross isn't a bad guy. All the best to him, but nah, fuck him. Who cares? It's all about Celtic.
Well, all the best to you, pal, but fuck you.
Bring back
all the best to you, but McGinty says, fuck you.
Come on up, podcast show.
On that lovely note, I am a huge fan of Jack Ross because he just pulled down Dundee United's pants and I was to shaft him today. So thanks very much, mate. But listen, been a great chat. It's been a great day. Obviously, 9-0, another game in the bag, another win in the bag. That's us 2 points ahead at the top of the league again. On top of the Zombies, looking down. We're going to me, McGinty, and Gav, possibly Keiser, and all see what's happening, mate. We'll be back on Tuesday. We'll talk about the game that's coming up next week. We'll talk about players. We'll talk about the transfer window closing on the Thursday. See if there's any potential ins or outs going. Dale, you'll be back tomorrow. Is that right, mate?
Me and Big Hoggy will be back. Me and Big Hoggy will be back tomorrow night. Celtic Supporters Podcast, 7 p.m. tomorrow night.
Got a wee man back wearing the right strip now. That's the way.
There you are.
I've got that said that to him. He's all the way up to the train.
Don't wear Real Madrid taps, wee man. Wear a Celtic tap.
Listen, your Uncle Paddy.
I'm already done.
No Real Madrid.
You wearing a Real Madrid tap is like your dad having a wig on. Don't do it.
Aye, don't do it. Right, I'll put the back in there.
So there you are. Everybody, you've heard it. Celtic Supporters Podcast tomorrow, 7 o'clock YouTube. Tuesday, 7 o'clock YouTube. Me, Gav, McGinty, Jungle Jazz Podcast. Get the likes in, get the subscribes in, and we will catch you.
The charity thing as well, guys. Dale done. Well done, Dale.
Oh, yes. Well done, mate. That's why you're here, buddy. Everybody, if you don't know, Dale, tell the troops what you walk for, mate. It certainly wasn't a kill look.
From Tesco to Iceland.
Nah. I ended up doing about 71 mile or something. Kind of Lanark area down to Cumbria. So, 19 hours of walking. 1,500 blood raised for the food bank. So, I've spoken about it enough, man. I hate pushing it, man, because there's too many cunts struggling, man. So I hate pushing it all the time and saying, give me money. I've got enough money, man. There's people going to benefit from what I've done in my blisters, my fucking toes. So it's done. The Just Giving things on my Facebook and on my Twitter page. So at Celtic Pod 67 and at Del Boy O'Reilly on Facebook. So if you've got a quid or a tenner or fuck all, you can just share it then. Fair play, but I've raised enough money and thanks to everybody that's donated, and just make sure you tune into my podcast tomorrow and the Jungle Gyms on Tuesday, and I'll be quite happy with that. So God bless you all, and God bless Big Ange, and God bless fucking Glasgow Celtic.
Brilliant, mate. Well done. So just obviously thanks to Dale for coming on the night again. Celtic Supporters Podcast, blah blah blah. Keiser, thanks for your debut on the show, mate. Absolute pleasure.
Loving it, guys.
So for me and McGinty, Jungle Gyms, hail. What a night. Go and enjoy yourself.
God bless.
9-0, on the hoops.